On aboard the choo-choo train.
Checkalook.
Welcome, everybody, to Crazy Train of Thought, brought to you by the Idiot Savants. Thank you so much for joining us today. I am your host, Ryan Wolf. We are live from Savant Studios. Today, we have Helldivers 2. We have, what was the other thing?
Hell Let Loose.
Hell Let Loose, which is not the subtitle for Helldivers 2 as I originally thought. And we've got a continued discussion from last week of our Microsoft PlayStation 5 Sony debacle. Joining me today, I have
Assassin Beatar.
Assassin Beater Austyn is here. Thank you for being here, Austyn. Glad to have you on the pod. And back producing for today's episode, Malcon has joined us, replacing the great Kennedy Wolf.
Oh, I get it.
From last week.
Sorry, just Malcolm. It appears I am Malcolm.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I spell your name right?
Yeah, you spelt it correct. Which is doesn't happen all the time.
I'm gonna have to change that. I'm gonna have to get that title changed to misspelled.
Yeah,
that won't bother me at all. I'm an English major.
I'm so impressed when people do spell it right. Because every like fast food, what name for the order.
What? And that is a switch that's happened recently, and that bugs the fuck out of me.
Yeah,
you don't need to know my name. We're not bros.
Yep.
You don't. Yeah. You may never see me again, depending on the quality of this meal.
Right.
We're not that kind of close.
We got different shifts.
Call me 17. I'm order 17.
Right. Yeah.
Well, my name gets spelled all the
for
time.
sure.
Oh, yeah.
With a Y?
With a
Come
Y,
on.
Come on. They should already know that. I'm there half the time, so.
Right. I mean, even at our church and for our mailbox and stuff, they spelt my name wrong. I took the little slip out, and just wrote on it with pen because they forgot the second L. They always forget the second L.
Right.
So, but yeah.
Fantastic.
Did I do my name?
I don't know. Can't remember.
Good talk.
I mean, I didn't watch the intro that we just did, so hopefully there we are. Podcast producer Malcon Wilson.
Yeah, I did because we had this whole we had this whole stupid discussion.
What a start that was. Okay, let's jump right into it. We don't have a lot of time today. This will be a little bit shorter episode, but the three of us wanted to sit down. I wanted to get Malcolm's thoughts on the Microsoft thing that we kind of talked about at the end of last week's episode, or somewhere in the middle of that episode. I can't remember the timing. But we talked about how, as a short recap of last week, we talked about how none of us really gave a fuck if Microsoft puts their games on PlayStation. That was a big kerfluffle. People canceled their Xbox subscriptions. People sold all of their Xboxes. The responses on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter of these fucking bullshit fanboys fanning some fake fucking flames.
I want receipts. I don't think they actually
fake fucking flames. Can you beat that?
Yeah. They actually did?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Listen back to last week's episode. It was ridiculous. I kind of told the story a little bit about how I saw multiple posts like that on Twitter, and a handful on Instagram. I'm not super active on TikTok, but I'd imagine there were other people that were mad there because the internet is full of mad people.
Yeah.
Except for us. We are never upset about anything.
Do you guys remember that old video of that one kid who gets in trouble? So then his mom or dad takes his Xbox outside and runs it over with a lawnmower or something like that. And this dude freaks out and just starts screaming.
Like a YouTube video?
It's like an old YouTube video, but it's like a really good meme.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's the same guy, but then at one point I think the kid goes into his room and tries to shove a remote up his butt because he's so mad that he can't play his Xbox. I could be thinking it's a different person,
I mean,
but it could be the same.
360 remote, I could see that.
No, it was a regular regular remote for TV. Yeah, and it was pretty funny because he's just like sitting there, just throwing a temper tantrum, getting mad, and then he just like sees the remote, just shuts it, and he goes and then he just.
What the fuck?
These are old videos. This is a long time ago, but those are the good times though.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds like a 360 era.
Yeah,
deal.
I think it was a 360. They had all of his games and all of his stuff in a pile, and I'm pretty sure it was a lawnmower, and they just ran it right over. And he's sitting there freaking out, just going crazy. And there's just security cam footage of just everything happening.
Well, and back then, it's not like games were digital that much, right? So those discs are gone. They're fucking gone.
They're gone. Yeah.
Right?
Forever.
Yeah. Forever. So let's get back to our Microsoft discussion. As soon as we went off air last week, I had a thought because I was reading an article about HBO. Well, the parent company for HBO is going to license some of HBO's shows to appear on other platforms. And the article, I can't remember if it was like Rock, Paper, Shotgun or Engadget, but the article was about how good this was, not only from a consumer standpoint, but how good it was for HBO to sell their property and have other people be able to consume that media somewhere else. So, and I kind of thought about that in the same way that we were talking about the Microsoft stuff last week. On the podcast that Phil Spencer did, he kind of talked about, he and Sarah Bond and Matt Booty, when they sat down to do the pod, they were talking about how the 4 games that they chose to come to other platforms are already saturated on the Xbox market. The people that have played those games are probably all of the people that have played those games. Grounded, Sea of Thieves, Pentiment, and Hi-Fi Rush is the one I couldn't remember last week when we were talking about it. What we didn't get as a response from a lot of people was the same type of response that this HBO thing got, though, from most people in the movie and TV industry. Like, why is it that video games need to stay as this separated walled garden, like it's Android and iOS? Like we could not possibly have Microsoft games on a Sony platform. Why is that so hard for people to compute? This shit happens all the fucking time in movies and TV.
I think it's just because it's really fresh. Because all this streaming, Netflix, Paramount Plus, it's all fresh. Nobody's dedicated oh man, I'm a Netflix guy. I'm only watching Netflix, Xbox has been Xbox for how long? And Halo's been on there for this entire time, If that goes over somewhere else, then people are going to freak out. But if it's like Netflix or HBO, they're like, HBO's like, oh yeah, Last of Us, it ain't going to be on HBO anymore. It's going to be on Netflix too. Right. Nobody's going to be like, what? Are you kidding me? They'll be like, oh, okay, cool.
So I had this thought, just as you were saying that, I kind of do you think maybe the price has something to do with it? Do you think maybe the cost of getting into what is a console generation, $500 at least, except if you're an Xbox player, you can get the Series S for $300. Yeah. But still, that's quite the investment. Whereas somebody who is getting into HBO to watch Game of Thrones, or let's say Game of Thrones because it's been off air for 6 years now. Yeah. Let's say they put Game of Thrones on Netflix. And the cost of getting Netflix is $15.
Yeah, if you're not sharing it.
So who's a Netflix fanboy, right? You're not a fan of the platform of Netflix. You wouldn't buy a shirt that said Netflix on it the same way you would Pornhub. I'm sorry, Xbox.
I don't know. I would buy a shirt that says Netflix and chill.
Sponsored by Pornhub.
Good time.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. No, that was a joke that didn't land super well. That's
Tough
okay.
crowd.
Yeah, tough crowd. But I wonder, maybe it's similar to the people who are like who's a Ford guy, right? Like, because the investment to become a Ford owner is so significant, you never want to be like, my truck's shit. I don't know. I wonder if that has something to do with like people, and plus with it being this walled garden for how long it's been, that only fuels the fire.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah. Because you just sit there and you wear your Ford
Halo's
t-shirt.
better than Resistance. Nah. I mean, that's probably true in that specific case.
Yeah.
But I don't think anybody would argue like Horizon Zero Dawn is better than any of the Fable games. Like, it's probably not even close.
No, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like it's them being like, people don't like change. A lot of people don't like change. Some people like
True.
change.
Sure.
But majority of people are like, all right, I just want to go home and I want to play on my Xbox and play those games that nobody else can play. It's that exclusivity. It's that
Exclusivity.
exclusivity. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like it's just that. Even if there is like a paywall to buy a $500 Xbox, $300 Xbox, I don't know. It doesn't, at least for me, it doesn't really change anything about the cost of it. I think it's just, since personally I played both systems or Nintendo, PlayStation, and Xbox. So I mean, I've had it all. But I mean, if I would have played just Xbox my entire life, I think I would probably be in the same boat, being like, wait, why do these guys get to play, Halo or Sea of Thieves, but we don't get to play none of their exclusives?
That's true. I mean, you will probably never get a Pokemon game on any platform. Well, I'm going to roll that back because there are some on mobile, not like quote unquote real Pokemon.
Yeah.
But Pokemon Go and Pokemon Sleep. There was that teeth brushing game that was Pokemon that we talked about on the pod.
Pal World.
Yeah, Pal World.
That's Pokemon.
Do you think that the people that are really upset are possibly streamers that play these exclusive games that possibly now are going to have to compete with more streamers being available? Because there is that paywall. So like somebody that streams exclusively like PlayStation games, now they're, going to be able to like play and stream these games. And maybe that's where some of the frustration from certain people is like they you know what I mean? Like before you only had to worry about people that played Xbox and stream, competing streams for those. Now you got a whole slew of people that can come in and possibly stream and, I don't know, make the competition a little bit more tougher.
I see what you're saying. I mean, that I would imagine that is probably some of the people that are mad would be streamers and people who, maybe make Xbox specific videos on YouTube. Probably people who are large enough to be monetized, unlike us scrubs,
peasants
who do not monetize our content.
We love the people.
Because we love the people. That's right. We don't want to make any money doing this ever.
We've lost so much money not monetizing. They beg us to every month.
That's true.
And every month when we sit down at our board meeting, we decide, no, you guys are the ones that are important.
We care
We're
about
not
you.
We're not here for the money.
You would not believe the amount of Nigerian princes in our email that want to sponsor our pod. I mean, I bet it's 4 a week.
Easily.
I don't know how many Nigerias there are, but they do seem to have many princes.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about Xbox, right? Okay, so yeah, the streamer thing. That could definitely be part of it, but I have to feel like, at least for some of these people, it's a complete affectation. It is people recording themselves freaking out for the sake of recording themselves freaking out. because people like reactionary content.
Yeah.
People like other people who are mad.
Yep.
Like
yep.
it's them indulging their audience already.
So it's like that kid shoving that remote
It's
up his butt.
the remote ass kid.
Yes.
The ass remote kid, not the remote ass kid. That's a different thing.
It's that ass remote kid?
The ass remote kid.
All right.
It's exactly that. It is a completely, it's overblown. It's farcical. Like they're not being sincere in their reaction. I think anybody who looks at the way content is consumed now, Xbox, and Phil Spencer said as much, Xbox is not just competing against Sony. They're not just competing against Nintendo. They're competing against Disney Plus and Paramount Plus and Netflix and all these other subscription services and people's fucking time. Like Xbox players, PlayStation players, they all have a finite amount of time and money to spend on any given thing. Just because people are playing on PlayStation doesn't mean they don't want to play Sea of Thieves. Maybe that looked cool, like to them. I personally don't think it did, but that's fine. Sam really liked it. I like that Sam likes it. It wasn't my style of game. I don't like the way that game plays, but I'm glad that people do like it, and I'm glad that it's coming to more platforms. And I think that is the appropriate response to this situation.
Do you think that if they start sharing everything, that eventually there will be a monopoly of like one person owning all of the games because they're sharing it all?
I think you have too many cooks in the kitchen for that. I don't think there's any way like Microsoft buys Sony. I don't think there's any way that like EA and Ubisoft team up. You know, I think there's too many. It's too diverse of a thing. And you also have smaller tier publishers like Embracer buying 85 studios and then closing 30 of them. Like now there are 30 studios that used to be owned by Embracer of people out of work who will, guess what? Start new game studios. And then those studios will make games. Like it's a vicious circle, but I think it's still like too large of a pool to consider it anything close to a monopoly.
Okay.
Because if you think about like, let's take another like social media. There are 4 social media platforms.
Yeah.
TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, or X, and Instagram. There are a couple smaller ones. Snapchat is a little smaller. It's kind of a different thing. Like TikTok is a new player in the game, but like it's also a different kind of social media experience than going to Twitter or going to Facebook. Yeah. It fills a different niche that wasn't being filled before. So I think social media is more of a more of a monopoly than the gaming thing.
But then those guys got their own exclusive content, right? You know, it's not, one isn't really the same as, I mean, they're kind of the same, but like you're saying, but
right. They're in that they all fall under the umbrella of social media, but they're all doing very different things.
Yes. So then with Microsoft and Sony, you know, Sony being exclusive, they went non-exclusive and started sharing stuff. And they're playing games that are made by PlayStation on Xbox. Then do you think that eventually that it'll just be Microsoft owning a big chunk of the gaming content just because of PS5 is based on their exclusivity.
Right.
But without that, what are they?
Well, that's a good question.
Same thing with Nintendo. Without their exclusive Pokemon games, what are they? And like Zelda and stuff like that. But what are they?
I think that we've spent so long as gamers like seeing those things synonymous with those companies. And like it's all like Nintendo and Mario is like Walt Disney and Mickey. Like you cannot separate. Like when you think of Mickey, you think of Walt Disney.
Yeah, that's true.
When you think of Nintendo, you think of Mario and Pokemon.
Yeah.
And Zelda. And I cannot see Microsoft making a huge dent in that, just because the strategy that Sony has, while dated, and also Nintendo have, while it's a dated strategy, it continues to work for them year over year.
Mm-hmm.
However, I think that Sony sees a little bit of that writing on the wall. Did you read about the Sony layoffs that recently happened?
Oh, no.
It happened like the day after we recorded last week.
Oh.
Sony laid off, I think, 900 of their developers. It's like,
Wow.
it was like 8% of their entire staff. It was significant. And it was, everybody was affected. Guerrilla, Insomniac, Sony Santa Monica. They closed Sony. I think it was actually just like Studio London is what it was called. And I can't remember which games they worked on, but that closed completely. Like 30 or 40 people lost their jobs there. So yeah, it says here, this is from gamesindustry.biz. Sony Interactive Entertainment this week announced plans to cut 900 workers from the PlayStation payroll, or about 8% of its global workforce. So the thing that Jim Ryan came out and said was that the cuts they were doing were them trying to be more agile as a company. And he said that they are working to, like, I'm paraphrasing here, but they are working to make sure that they are prepared for making games for the next generation. And he talked about a little bit games as a service, and because they recently like canceled some games, like some games in this layoff, part of those people were laid off because those games they were working on were canceled. And they had, they brought Bungie in, and they were doing that Horizon multiplayer game. They were working on a Last of Us multiplayer game for a while. And I think that they've probably looked at how poorly those games have been received.
Yeah.
And the most recent example being Suicide Squad was not a good game from most people's assessments.
Nope. I played a little bit of it. No, it's not that good.
No.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, Malcolm's got it pulled up here. Who is this, Malcolm?
Looks like GameIndustry.biz.
Okay, so that's the one I was talking about from earlier. So
okay, gotcha.
let's see if do we have Jim Ryan's comments here. Okay, we don't have his, but we have Hiroki Totoki, who is taking over for Jim Ryan when he retires in April. He says the PlayStation business is profitable, but not profitable enough. Sony is seeking, this is another article here, Sony is seeking growth by bringing in more first-party games to other platforms. This is from February 15th. So a potential driver for growth is the first-party title generation, because in the past we wanted to popularize consoles, Totoki said, as transcribed by Seeking Alpha. The purpose of the first-party title was to make the hardware or console popular, but there is a synergy to it. If we have a strong first-party content, not only with our console, but also with other platforms like computers, we can help operating profit improve. So Microsoft gets blown all this shit for bringing 4 of their exclusive games to PlayStation and Nintendo. PlayStation comes out and says, hey, we might do that too. And nobody flips the fuck out. Did you see one thing about this on Twitter?
I heard nothing about this.
YouTube or Facebook? Or
Nothing.
Nothing. I didn't even know he said this. He says, We're bringing our first party games to other places. He does not call out Xbox. He does not say we're joining Microsoft. Anytime that Microsoft gets stabbed with a stick, Sony wants to make sure they're right there jabbing it in.
When was this published?
15th, right?
February 15th.
And when did they publish the thing about?
Fuck, like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it would have been within that same realm of time space that people were talking about this. I didn't see one article about
Nintendo was strategic. They're like, all right, the Steam's blown off. Nobody can get that mad again.
Right.
Why did it didn't take off? That's weird.
Yeah, that is weird. Well, we learned something today. So I want to talk about Engadget and Jeff Gerstmann on his Jeff Gerstmann podcast. I'm a big fan of Jeff. I think he's fantastic. I listen to his podcast almost every week. So he's been in the industry a long time, and he kind of said on his show that he felt like maybe Microsoft should take a more radical route for their next console generation. And I think it was either Engadget or Eurogamer had an article that came out that kind of echoed Jeff's sentiments. It was basically like, Microsoft is in third place. They've been in third place for 2 entire generations now. The Xbox One generation and the Series X generation. They dumped all this money into Game Pass. Mm-hmm. They get all these Game Pass games. People, subscribe to their service, and they may be capping out at how many people are going to subscribe to their service. I think they talked about 35 million people or something like that.
It's a lot of dough.
So it is a lot of dough, but Microsoft has something that Sony and Nintendo do not. They have Windows. Like every fucking person that plays PC games is a Microsoft gamer.
Yep.
They might buy their games on Steam, but they play them on Windows.
Yep.
It is prolific. It's like the saturation rate for Windows is like 95%. It's so stupid. It's like 1.5 billion people.
I didn't even know there was anything else other than Windows.
Right.
To be honest with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what everybody company uses. That's what all schools use. So, I mean, yeah, I think that's what they use when you take computer class.
Yeah.
They do Windows.
Who teaches you Mac or Linux? Fucking nobody.
Nobody.
YouTube. YouTube teaches you how to use either of those fucking platforms. So Jeff's idea, and like I said, it was echoed in that article that I read, was about like, what if you did some sort of modular style console? What if you had the next Xbox being more like a PC tower with removable innards, somehow like, okay, put a new hard drive, put a faster hard drive in it, put a better graphics card. Like maybe you probably wouldn't be able to do the processor. You're not swapping out the processor in a PC is difficult because of interoperability, whatever that.
Inoperable?
Interoperability?
Interoperability.
Is that a word? That's what I'm going to call it. So swapping the processor out would probably be difficult. But getting a faster hard drive, more RAM, faster video card, those are absolutely things that are swappable now on Windows PCs.
Yeah.
And then you also have, interestingly, the up-and-coming Windows handheld market that Xbox should absolutely capitalize on. Mm-hmm. Why don't they have just like a Windows skin that's mostly game shit?
Because they have the cloud, baby.
They don't need the cloud. We're running this shit natively on handhelds. Why not? Like, sure, the cloud can be the future. That's fucking fine. I don't give a shit about the cloud currently. Like I'm sorry. It barely fucking works. Like I want it to work so bad. And then I play a game in the cloud and I'm like, oh yeah, this still sucks.
Yep.
Like, it's fine for turn-based games. For anything that requires any sort of like timing, input, any of that, it's broken. It's not even Microsoft's fault. I'm not like, hey Microsoft, fix your fucking shit. But like, it's hard to do. There's, I'm playing a game 1,000 miles away. Like the internet needs to be really fucking fast for that to happen. And it's just not there. So I think in the immediate future, this console Windows market, of which there are now like 6, the Steam Deck, the fucking MSI has one. Who else? Asus has one. And I think there's at least 1 or 2 more coming out. I think Alienware has one coming out. We covered that on the pod. Like, there's so many of these handheld Windows gaming things that I think that there is a potential future here for Microsoft to capitalize on this shit.
But why do that when you're raking in all this money with just doing what they're doing?
But I think that the problem is that they're not.
Oh.
Because it's not that they're... Okay, let me step back. It's not that money isn't flowing the fuck in.
Yeah.
They're definitely, like, say, making more than I am a week.
Yeah.
But, like, they want the Xbox business to be bigger. They want to sell more games. That's why they're coming to other platforms. If Pentiment sold 8 million copies with coming to Game Pass on Xbox, maybe they wouldn't bring Pentiment to other platforms. Ditto for Sea of Thieves. If Sea of Thieves was still having 10 million people a week play it, well, fuck, we don't need Sony.
Yeah.
We don't need those players. We don't need to bring them to those platforms. But the problem is that's not happening. They're not still selling those games. Maybe people who have played Grounded or played Sea of Thieves, they're not checking back in with it weekly as they were before. Halo's in a similar boat. Fucking Gears 5.
Yeah, that's all falling off. All those really exclusive games for Xbox are falling off. So, I mean, yeah. I mean, what they're doing is a good idea then, is just trying to spread their seed everywhere.
So back to the modular console thing, would you buy a thing like that? If Microsoft came out and said, okay, this generation we're soft launching a new console, the next gen chip it has in it is absolutely the top of the line, the best you can buy right now. The video card in it is pretty good. You know, the hard drive in it is pretty good. It is, Sarah Bond, if we hold her to her word, let's say the next console is absolutely the largest generation Switch we've seen. And it's the fastest, you know, whatever, the most teraflops. It has 80 million teraflops on the next Xbox. Like, would you, but they say, and next year we'll have a new version of the video card out. And for $150 or $200, you can upgrade your video card in your Xbox. Would you do that?
No.
Okay.
Nope. Because I feel like if I want to do that, I can just buy a PC.
So you feel like they might be invading in their other market if they made a Switch like that?
Yeah. Like, what would be the point? What would be the point of me buying that if I could just buy my own PC?
So the point of you buying the modular Xbox as opposed to a PC would be you are still getting the console experience. There's something to be said about starting up, I mean, what is essentially a PC in your living room, your Xbox, your PlayStation.
Yeah.
There's something to be said with just starting that and playing a game and not having a single goddamn thing break about that experience. Whereas if you got on Steam, you got a bad driver on your video card. There was updated drivers on your mouse that fucked up your driver on your wireless card. Like driver issues or just like scaling issues. PC gaming is fraught with troubleshooting.
Yeah.
And I have not done a whole lot of it, but whenever I have, like, I've had to ask Michael, my brother-in-law, like, hey, can you fucking help me? I'm so sorry. Like, I'm okay at, like, PC stuff.
Yeah.
But I still don't really want to fuck with that every time I want to play a game. And it's, okay, to be fair, it's not every time. Like, once a game's patched, once it works, it's usually is fine.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's not. So you'd still be getting the console experience in your living room with this upgradable version of this box. Still out, huh?
Nah. If it's going into that PC territory, I mean, it's just a pre-built PC, and if you want to add something to it, you have to pay extra to add something to it. But it'd be more seamless and more easier. Yeah. But I mean, there's really no other point on doing that.
Right.
Because, like PlayStation, like this new PlayStation 5, they have exclusives just for PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
So they're getting people to, hey, I need to get a PlayStation 5 to buy this game. Do you think Xbox would do the same thing? Saying, hey, you can only play this game on...
No, I think they would continue this push towards like, okay, we're going to do soft generations. Maybe our first party titles will come to the SX and the, we talked about it last week, the SEX, the next one.
The sex.
Yeah, the sex box.
The sex box.
The sex box, which is maybe, the games will come to that. They will just play best on the sex box as opposed to the other two.
How much more good can we get than we already have?
Have you seen ray tracing?
Oh my God.
Ray tracing is real good.
On my PC.
Yes. On PC. It's not really function as well on the Xbox or the to be fair, some of the ray tracing on the PlayStation games look really nice, I think.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just games are already good looking as what they are. That I mean, if there's ray tracing or a more simplified way to play on your console versus PC, yeah, but to spend another $500-$600 probably for a new console, and then if you want to upgrade it, here's another $100-$150. I don't know.
The only thing, my issue with it was I'm like already invested in Microsoft's ecosystem, right? All my friends play those games,
Yes.
or all my friends play on Xbox.
Yes.
All my family members play on Xbox. When I play with my cousins, we play Call of Duty, we're playing on Xbox. And so I would not be one to be like, okay, I'm going to switch like my primary console. Even if Microsoft made a switch like this, my problem with this potential thing that was brought up, again, if you missed what I said earlier, this is not a real thing. Microsoft is not talking about this. There were two journalists that were talking about it, but I think they would price me out of the market. So they would say, okay, here's this upgradable box. The box costs $500 as the standard thing. And then I think the new video card for it, because it would have to be some sort of self-contained unit, right? Like they wouldn't necessarily want you popping in there your own self and swapping out the video card. It'd have to be like this plug and play deal.
Correct.
They'd have to make it easy. And judging by the price of the fucking memory cards for this generation, which are proprietary, I'm not paying $250 for additional memory for my console.
Yeah,
that is
crazy.
insane. I can buy another fucking console for $300. For another $50, I can just have Xbox in another room. I can have another Xbox dedicated to just whatever fucking game I wanted to store on that anyways.
But that's what they want you to do. They want you to buy more consoles.
All right, give me some time with Hell Let Loose here, Austyn. We probably went a little long on that segment. Let me hear Hell Let Loose. I don't even know what this game is. What is this?
It is a game based in World War II.
Okay.
So it's a very realistic game. You got it's basically, I would say it's almost resembled Call of Duty, but in hardcore mode.
Oh, I love I only play hardcore mode.
But the thing is, you're not like a super soldier that can like run super fast, and it's all basic, it's all normal, like realistic. You're in World War II and you're running.
So you have muskets.
No, it's a Civil War. What are you talking about?
Can you see it?
Yeah.
So
Malcolm's got it pulled up here. We're watching the trailer.
It's there's a bunch of people in the game. 100-player battles, man.
That's crazy.
The communication in the game is via proximity chat or squad chat, and then above that is officer and commander chat.
Okay.
So in this, you can build. You have, in order to like have spawn locations, you need to build nodes, I think. So then they get you more supplies. So then the commander can drop supplies. So then you can build outposts that you can spawn at.
So how big are the fucking maps?
It is huge.
Okay.
And when you have to spawn all the way at the beginning because they took out your outpost, you are fucking pissed. You're like, gosh damn it, I have to run all this way.
Yeah.
And then I just run all the way there, and out of nowhere, I just get sniped because there's a sniper just out in the field somewhere.
Okay.
You know, you can't just be running out in the open because one shot, one kill in this game.
Oh, man.
One shot, one kill for the most part.
Okay.
You can be revived. There are medics. In the squads, you have different roles. There's engineer, medic, assault, couple other ones, but each one has a specific role and specific guns that they can only use.
Okay. So it's almost a class-based type deal.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And you can't swap weapons between different classes. Once you pick that class, you have the certain ability, certain equipment, and then guns.
Okay.
But this game is very, very realistic, and people love to role play in this game.
Okay.
So I love being a medic. Any game I play, I love being a medic. Battlefield, I love being a medic.
Sure.
If you get shot in the head, you're dead. If there's a bomb or a grenade, you're dead. Blown to pieces, you're dead.
Yeah.
You know, but if you get shot in the chest, you can lay there, and then you could talk in proximity chat and be like, medic, please help me, medic. I want to see my kids again. Medic. And I'm like, don't worry, man. I'm coming to get you. But that's probably the best part of this game is the proximity chat of people just role playing, pretending to be in World War II, you know, fighting each other, killing each other. You can't talk to the other team. That's the only bad thing I would say about this game. But you can communicate between your squad.
Well, as in real war, they would have been speaking German on the other side. So
that's what they should have done.
You know, you wouldn't be able to understand them anyway.
I forget this one game, but this one game had a mod where one person was like a Terminator and he would go around trying to kill John Connor, you know? But the only way you'd tell that's the Terminator is their voice sounds like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
No way.
I forget the game.
That's fucking fantastic.
A lot of YouTubers played it, but But anyways, but this game is it is very, very realistic. Just like at the beginning, everybody gets in their truck, you know, and you have to meet in the middle point of the map to try to capture that outpost.
So you said you had to build an outpost or you capture an outpost?
So there are places you have to technically capture. You capture it, but then you have to build an actual spawn point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I mean, your officer of the squad can build a I forget what they called, but it's almost like an outpost too. Mm-hmm. You can spawn in it, but only your squad can spawn on it.
Okay.
But just the fact that you can sit in a truck with a bunch of other guys and you're driving to the point to get to the middle point of the map. You're like, all right, guys, how's the war going for you? You know, you just have all this weird talks with people. There's this one ability where the commander can set down like, it's almost like a barrage. You know, it's just like bombs that just go boom, boom, and they just keep on going in one straight line.
Okay.
And it goes really far.
Like strafe fire, but for bombs.
Yeah, with a bomb. Yeah, exactly.
Like carpet bombing.
Yeah. And it's probably one of the worst things. I do have a video of that where I'm sitting there like going around the corner and I'm about to leave. I'm like, all right, maybe I can go out and go. And I'm like, no, I'll come back. I come back to the point, and then I hear boom, 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 boom. I hear it getting louder, so I turn around slowly, and then I just see it like 10 feet in front of me going boom, boom. Now I just stand there and just stare at it, just accepting my fate.
Yeah.
I can't get out of there. I'm done. It's over. I can't get out of there.
Yeah.
But and then there's also this one other point where there's this girl playing, and I don't know why she was doing this, but she was a medic on another squad, and she would go like somebody's down. You could see somebody down. There's like a little point you can see where it have a little medic sign.
Yeah.
She'd go, I'm coming to get you. And she would just say this. She would keep on going, I'm coming, you know. So the child that I am, anytime I would go and I would see somebody down, I'd be like, I'm coming. Don't worry, I'm coming. And that's just me being a child. And she liked it at first.
Sure.
But anytime she went down, I'd be like, I'm coming, don't worry. I got you, I'm coming.
You are so mean. I'm sure that's not the worst treatment she got.
Oh, dude,
if
there are
anybody's
people-
just ribbing her like you were.
Dude, there was people like, what? There's a girl on the front line.
Yeah.
What are you doing out here? You know, you
I heard their periods attract bears.
Yeah, there are people that being mean. And I noticed a lot of people that play this game are either really high or drunk.
Okay.
Because we had this one guy who was our officer, and he would not sit down an outpost for us. And then lo and behold, he didn't know how to turn on his mic either because he was just so wasted.
Yeah.
And he was just like, yeah, this is my first time playing the game, and you guys are yelling at me.
You guys aren't very nice.
You guys are being very nice. One guy, I was trying to explain to him how to like you had to take out this compass and then you put down your outpost or whatever. I was literally telling the guy how to do it. He's in front of me. And one of my teammates is just pissed off because he wouldn't lay down those outposts. He comes up there, blasts the dude in the head, and I'm just like, what? What are you doing? I was literally telling him I was like teaching him how to do this, and you just blast him in the head.
His own player.
Yeah, it's stupid. And I mean, the fact that like a lot of the times I'm just sitting there, like I see somebody dead, I'm gonna go get them, and I'm running over there, and I'm about to get to them, and then there's a grenade that falls right on them, and it just goes boom, and the body parts just fly everywhere, and I'm just like, oh, what just happened? Like I just get like PTSD.
Pretty gory.
Yeah,
Damn.
it's pretty gory.
Yeah.
I'm liking this already.
But
So I have a question about the battlefield.
yes.
Are there like little towns that you come up to or different maps? Like how does that part work?
Yeah, there's like 9 or 10 different maps. There's like woods, there's towns, there's cities. And one of the things is if you win as the Nazis, a Nazi song starts playing when you win.
Gotta imagine that doesn't make a whole lot of people happy.
No, but it's probably the best song out of all of the songs that play that are catchy.
Oh, okay.
Which is kind of weird, but I was just like,
Well,
okay,
they had a bit of a following.
just a little bit, I would say. Just a little bit.
Somewhat fanatical, some people might say.
Which is weird because I don't think I've ever heard anybody like start speaking German or anything when we're playing as the Germans.
Right.
It's all just us talking American being like, help me, medic, please.
I'm coming.
There was this one point I was just like so into it. I had one of my buddies playing with me, and there's just like these 4 guys hiding behind some cover, and I'm running by them, and they're just sitting there arguing, just yelling at each other. I don't know what they're saying.
Sure.
But I'm just like, I was so into it. I was like, guys, quit arguing. This is exactly what the enemy wants. Don't sit here and start arguing with each other. Get out there and fight. You know? I don't know why. I just went over it.
Fantastic.
And my buddy was just dying laughing.
Yeah.
He was telling other people. He's just like, he's like, this. Why is he?
This fucking idiot.
So how do you win the round?
Basically, either you there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 control points. So you have 2, they have 2, and you have 1 in the middle.
Right.
So if you have more control points at the end of the game, then you win.
Okay, so there's a time limit.
Yeah.
But in addition to, you can end it early by controlling all of them.
it. Yes.
Okay,
correct.
gotcha.
Yep. And I haven't really messed with the tanks or anything like that because they're really hard to control and all this extra stuff. But I've destroyed a lot of tanks.
Sure.
That's for sure.
Are the control points randomized, or are they the same spot every single time?
I think they're the same spot every single time.
Okay. So you know, it would be like King of the Hill and Gears then. Like
Yeah,
you know where
exactly.
you gotta go at certain points.
Yeah, because I think sometimes the commander, as people get back, like he'll like tell each squad what to do, and he'll like communicate with the officer. Then your officer will communicate with you on what to do.
Can you hear the commander as the medic?
No.
So you can only hear the officer.
Correct. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
String of command.
Yeah, and that's really
cool.
The game really relies on your commander communicating with your officer communicating with everybody.
So I can see if that guy were drunk or high or stupid, that would be problematic.
Correct.
If you were, as it would in real war. So on the battlefield, how hard is it to see other people? Because that is one of the things that I hate the most about Call of Duty is like how easy it is to see the other team. Gears made it this way too. Like you can't really hide in those games as well as you used to be able to. They do like certain highlighting and stuff like that. So
No, you can't see the enemy at all. You can
Okay.
see your teammates,
okay,
but you're like.
but there's
can't-
friendly fire too.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
obviously
yeah.
you said that one guy killed the other guy, but
Yes.
there's always friendly fire.
Yep. So if somebody throws a grenade, they're like,
Oh, you're done.
Oh no, I threw it right
done.
next to us, guys. Everybody run! You know. But I there's multiple times where I'm running in a field and then out of nowhere I just die, and I'm just like,
Right.
it doesn't tell you where you died
No
from.
kill cam.
No, nothing. You're just dead on the ground. You can either wait to get revived if you didn't get shot in the head or blown to pieces, or you can just respawn. But then there's like another timer along that. You know,
Yeah.
when you start killing your teammates, then you get extra time added to your death time.
The trailer that we watched was for the Steam Early Access. Is that where you've been playing it? Is on Steam?
No, it's on Xbox. It's
on Xbox,
Game
okay.
Pass.
No way!
Yeah, it's
I
really-
didn't see it.
It's on Game Pass. Yep.
Dude.
I don't know why I looked into it. I think somebody told me about it or something
Yeah.
like that, but it was on Game Pass and we're just like, yeah, might as well check it out.
And you've
Okay.
been playing on Xbox?
Yeah, just
Oh,
on
okay.
Xbox.
Cool.
Yeah.
Is it in early access on Xbox or is it out officially? Do you know?
I don't remember seeing anything about early access.
Okay.
So it might be officially out.
Sweet.
That's awesome.
But yeah, it's just a multiplayer. That's it. There's no campaign.
Yeah.
Nothing. Just multiplayer, and you just role playing as a guy in the war who
Yeah.
essentially gets destroyed and killed into pieces.
Does
Yeah.
it provide stats for you, like on your kill death ratio or?
It does, but I have not been able to decipher what is what. Because it's like
In
it doesn't.
German?
It's all in German. You're in German. It's in German. You're on Russian. It's in Russian.
Yeah.
Das
No.
Schlägers.
No, it's just
Nine.
nine.
I think I have 9 kills.
I think it said 9. Is that what? Yeah, I think that's what it was. It's just like a bunch. It's just letters, and it doesn't really tell you what is what. And it's like multiple ones.
Is there any sort of like progression as far as like unlocking weapons? Do they do seasons? Are there cosmetics?
There is some cosmetics. Nothing that really stands out.
No,
And-
no Homer Simpson. I can't be.
no Fortnite dance
Aw.
emotes.
Okay.
But I think you can get different weapons in certain classes, but you have to level up in that class in order to unlock said weapons. Which
And if you're playing as the medic, you're only getting experience points for the medic
Yes,
class.
yes,
Okay. So you
yep.
have to play. Yeah.
yeah, so I don't think I've unlocked any extra weapons, but I've gotten like 25 hours maybe on it, 20 hours.
Pretty good chunk of time.
I think so, and I've yet to unlock another gun.
Oh, wow.
But I'm also there can only be one medic in each squad.
Okay.
So there's only one medic in that squad, only one engineer. One
So when you
machine
queue
gunner.
for a match, how does that work? Like first come, first serve as
Yes.
far as picking your
Yes.
class?
So you
Okay.
can start your own squad, but then if you start your own squad, you have to be the officer.
Ah.
Yeah. But then once, say, your buddy wants to be the officer, then you can go into that squad and pick whatever you want.
Okay.
But usually whoever like comes right in, takes the first squad, people just join that squad.
So the officer is the leader of the squad as his own unit,
Yes.
right? So the officer, medic, assault, whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So the officer is not also a medic.
No. He's the one that builds the outposts.
Okay. So he has a specific role to fill.
Yeah. Each one has their own specific stuff. So, like I said, the engineer builds nodes so you can get supplies, which and then in turn the commander can drop the supplies, and then the officer can build said outposts and
Jesus.
barricades or whatever. And
Yeah.
you can build quite a bit stuff too, barbed wire and stuff like that.
Right.
But it's a pretty decent game. I like it, but it gets to the point where you're just like, why am I waiting 30 seconds just to get in the game to run, for 5 minutes
Just to
and
get
then-
shot in an open
and
field
then
by a
shot
sniper.
in an open field, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. But it is very intense and very, very, when you're in there and you're fighting, it gets crazy.
Do you play with headphones on?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, you're in it.
I'm in it. I can hear people hear footsteps. I can hear explosions, people screaming, yelling for medic. Yeah. It's pretty,
Well, this looks really cool.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought this up. I had no idea that this was on Xbox. I've got to give this a shot.
Same.
Do you guys want to go play it right now?
I'm down.
Okay. Yeah, let's fucking do it.
Join the
We are
action.
going to get out of here, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. This has been Crazy Train of Thought episode, whatever the fuck we're on. That was Hell Let Loose. That sounds really cool. Thank you for bringing it up this week, Austyn. And thank you for being here. Thank you for producing, Malcolm. And thank you for listening. We'll be back next week with something else. I've been playing Cyberpunk. I think maybe we'll talk about next week, possibly Cyberpunk and what was the other one that we didn't talk about? Helldivers 2.
Helldivers 2.
We've now 2 weeks in a row promised that we would talk about that. And here we are not talking about it again, but we have to cut it short. I'm so sorry.
It's not going to go anywhere. Helldivers 2 is still really, really popular.
Okay.
So I think they might even add more stuff soon. So
Okay.
Okay.
There'll be plenty more to talk about.
Yeah.
Yep.
So join us next week. We'll probably have Helldivers 2. We'll probably have Cyberpunk. And I've been playing Pal World with Troy's son. It's fantastic.
Yeah, is he really good at it?
No.
Oh. I would think the master of Pokemon would
Sure.
his son would be a protege.
I'll be back next week with some information about playing Pal World with Emmett. He's fantastic. See you guys.
See ya.
That's all, folks. What the fuck?
Start recording. All right, so we got that. We're good there.
Reaper 2.
Yep. Reaper's good. Austyn, give me some bars.
Low.
All right, good.
Bars Ryan.
Bars.
Did you notice my new microphone?
I did notice that it was a lot bigger.
Troy mentioned it's like a black cock in my face. And I said,
I
mean, having not experienced that particular situation, I bet it's a lot like this right now.
Oh, shit.
I think even 2 hands still wouldn't cover the whole thing.
Yeah. I don't even know if my fingers fit all the way around it. This is fucking solid.
Meaty.
It's meaty.
Oh, shit. All right. So do we need to listen back to the audio now, or we good to just roll?
It seemed fine last week. I think it's probably fine if we
Okay.
want to roll with it.
Rolling in.